All right, the title of this video is That's Impossible. The Atlas doesn't move that way, but it does. So we have vertigo, dizziness, DeBarquement syndrome with a little tinnitus thrown in and a bunch of other little symptoms that we won't get into. But this was very interesting. Here's a still shot of what it looks like. Look how rotated that atlas is. Yeah, that's the big thing. And then when you turn your head to the left, look how the atlas straightens right out and the rotation goes away. Now, with left head rotation, the atlas slides to the right, which is what we expect, and it does it significantly. And when you turn your head to the right, the atlas rotates even more and, of course, slides to the left. So here we can see your anatomy is interesting in that your jugular is sitting outside of the transverse process of atlas. You can see how it's digging into it. Here we can see it from the front, right in through there. The stylohyoid ligament is calcified, but it's not completely attached to the skull. And we looked at this quite a bit. So we think that there's muscles, the SCM and or some other intrinsic muscles that are compromising the right jugular from the front and the back. Now, when you turn your head to the right, the jugular goes in front of the atlas. And of course, you can see the atlas sliding up to the left. And then when you turn your head to the left, the jugular really does slide in front of the atlas also. It's being pulled around. So what we did is we adjusted your, another little interesting thing is that we have the arcuate foramen, or the calcification of posterior atlanto-occipital membrane. And it looks like there's some room in there. It doesn't look like the vertebral arteries are tethered so much, but there is hypermobility in there. So when you turn your head to the left and the right, especially with this anomaly here, that vertebral artery is kind of stretched pretty good. Let's see if we can get a good shot of it. I don't think we're going to get it on this view. There you can see it pulled there. There's a little bow to it, so it doesn't seem like it's pulled too tightly there. Okay. What else did we want to show? Okay, so this is a side view, and just picture the jugular sitting in front of the atlas so you can see how far forward the atlas is pitched. Then we put an 8-pound weight around your neck, down and low, and it pitched the atlas back a little bit. We put a 10-pound, and it pitched it back even further. You can see how it opens that up. We'll show you in a minute the ultrasounds that we did before and after the atlas orthogonal adjustment, and before and with the weights. Okay, so we'll actually put these next to each other so you can see them. Actually, we'll put, that's after the adjustment. Yeah, we might as well put them up now. So there's how far the atlas is digging forward into the jugulars, just in your neutral position. There's how far back it goes with the 10-pound weight. And there's how far back it went with the adjustment. So the adjustment brought more of a curve back than anything else we did. So we're documenting why you feel so much better. This is the x-ray from the aerial view, looking down from the top. And we'll put those next to each other so you can see them. There's before and after. Now, given what we learned, we learned with left and right head rotation that atlas slides and rotates all the way from neutral to extreme numbers. So we knew you were going to straighten up, and we actually adjusted you really far anterior in a way that would be controversial, as a matter of fact, to be honest. So here, you're just putting them next to each other. This is before and after. You can see how far your atlas pitched forward on the right, You can see how it brought back down. So I had you put your chin on the x-ray, on the bucky, symmetrically, the same way you normally did. I didn't manipulate you. Now, you can see how the line, my center line does not exactly line up with the skull, but I didn't want to manipulate you. I wanted you to be approach the bucky the way you approach it. And even with the skull being different, you can see that this atlas came down significantly. Right, so we have, and then of course, before and after here. Oh, here you go. So before, after, you can see how all the weight bearing is over to the right, and then you can see how the whole thing shifted to the left. And one of the biggest symptom changes, you feel like there's something lifting you up on the right. The whole right side is lifted up, and you feel like everything is shifted over towards the left. Among other things. So really the most demonstrable thing, documenting what you feel, why you feel the way you feel, is the ultrasounds. So we did there were differences in the waveforms of the left and right vertebral artery before and after, but the biggest change is this right jugular. So there's the right jugular before the adjustment. There's how much it opened up. It went from 89 to 93. You can see how much more blood is coming out with the 10-pound weight around your neck to bring the curve back, to pitch the atlas back. But here it is, right here. This is after the atlas adjustment. You can see it jumped up to 157 centimeters. So it went from that much blood coming out, 89, to 157, this much blood coming out. You can see how much larger, I mean, it is just flushing, and of course you're feeling that. Interestingly enough, the left jugular, the flow decreased, and I believe it's because your dominant right jugular opened up so much, everything is coming out of the right jugular. Now, when we put the 10-pound weight around your neck to bring the curve back, it did open up both jugulars. So both jugulars did increase. So there's left jugular without the weight, with the weight. So there's something to be said for the weight to bring the curve back. But because of what we see with this rotational twist, this corkscrew type of atlas subluxation that you have, I think just letting your whole spine shift and adapt, you feel significantly different. What do you feel?
The biggest thing is the right side just feels longer, taller, more sound, like I'm not leaning or collapsing on that side. And that just, there's strength there. So, which I didn't know I was lacking, to be honest. So that's a big increase in just overall feeling to the upper cervical and mid-back area, to be honest.
Okay. Is there anything you want me to talk about? Anything you want me to address?
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think the biggest thing was seeing how much blood flow is now actually happening.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make that stuff up. So seeing the results of that over the next couple days will be profound.
Right. And this is what the left vertebral artery, the waveform looked like before. There's your left vertebral after. They do look different. And one of the things is seeing changes. Right. And oh, here's right. There's your right vertebral before, right vertebral out after. Yeah, this was 39 centimeters. Now it's 101 centimeters. Changes. All right.